to join you on your 8th National Principals Congress. I wish to greet our National President of NAPSSPHIL, the National Association of Public Secondary Schools of the Philippines, Dr. Warnito D. Rosarial. And I have noted that your overall theme for your Congress today is on the principal's role in upholding the learner's right to access to quality basic education, promoting safety and well-being in the new norm. Of course, I'm very much concerned about the role of the school leaders. I prefer to describe ourselves as leaders for learning or learning leaders. And if you ask me, any leader, if there's only one thing he or she has to do, it's all about inspiring the team, the fellow teachers, the parents, and all other stakeholders to help you or to help us accomplish the goal. That's to me, the foremost work and job of any leader. And I know that this task of inspiring in my own 37 years of experience in the Department of Education, I have discovered that the use of appreciative inquiry is very important and significant in inspiring our team to do better. When I say appreciative inquiry, it's a concept that invites all of us leaders to be more attentive to the strengths of our fellow members of the team, in the case of our schools, of our fellow teachers. I've been doing this whenever I work in a team. I try to find out the different strengths of the people in my team, and when I pay attention to the strengths, praising them, recognizing them in appropriate ways, the members of the team end up becoming more motivated to give their best. And eventually, they demonstrate higher levels of commitment. When I say commitment, when one has higher levels of commitment, that leader for learning, ourselves or even our fellow teachers, would not actually mind doing extra things outside of the so-called official hours. I know that you are also interested to be given some updates on our ongoing work in the K-12 curriculum itself. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we have decided to use the most essential learning competencies, and the Bureau of Curriculum Development has been very busy collaborating with the other bureaus and even our experts from the academy to review initially and then now update the K-12 curriculum. While the updated curriculum cannot be implemented in school year 2023-2024, we will of course be able to be ready with the curriculum guides, the updated curriculum guides, very soon, hopefully this coming June and July, and eventually have this submitted to our experts for further consultation and refinement. And the updated curriculum is essentially all about us paying attention to the so-called big ideas. We feel and we know that the results of the curriculum review indicate that our curriculum is indeed very, very congested. We have listed a lot of competencies which could not be covered by the teachers in the same curriculum review. Essentially, about 50% of the curriculum competencies, the competencies that we have listed in our curriculum guides, could not be covered by our fellow teachers in a different grade. So we have to streamline, and the way to do it is to focus on the big ideas. Number two, we'll also be very much clear about the need for all of us to pay attention to the foundational skills of numeracy, literacy, and social-emotional skills. I've been saying this and I'll never change this tune, this advocacy that if we want better learning outcomes, we have to make sure that every learner is a competent and fluent reader. So we have to really pay attention to the foundational skill of reading, because any child who knows how to read will explore the world on his or her own and end up learning a lot more. Next key feature is the need to intensify values education. There is a recent law that mandates us to implement the good manners and right conduct at the elementary grades and values education in the high schools. And finally, we will also rationalize the offerings of the textbook track in the senior high school program particularly. But even at the junior high school level, we are starting with some forms of rationalizing the specializations that the learners will go through. If you ask me, fellow school principals, I've been a high school principal myself, and I am a very proud member of the group of people who had the privilege of becoming principals in a national high school. If you ask me, of course, and this is very obvious, the biggest challenge that our education system faces is the challenge of really improving the quality of the basic education services we provide the children and the youngsters enrolled in our schools. That's why we also are aware that even prior to the release of the PISA, the TILS, and the CTLM, the Department of Education, under the able and inspiring leadership of Professor Emeritus Leonor Liling Magpolis Briones, has launched Sulong Edukalidad. And you know that Sulong Edukalidad has 4 pillars: the K-12 curriculum review and update, the intensification of the focus on learning resources, the teachers upskilling and reskilling, and of course that includes ourselves, the learning leaders upskilling, and finally engagement of stakeholders. We are, of course, aware also on the basis of what we are reading, our fellow teachers are very much faced with big challenges, and according to one group of researchers, these challenges include the fact that the learners are becoming more diverse. Our fellow teachers, of course, our work as principals and as leaders for learning is to make sure that our fellow teachers are prepared to facilitate learning activities that will eventually motivate the learners. If earlier I said, if there's only one task each one of us should do, it's about inspiring our team to deliver results. I also believe that a teacher will never succeed in creating high-achieving learners if the teacher fails to inspire and motivate the learners. So it's very important that the teachers that we have, our fellow teachers in the school, are given the opportunity to get updated knowledge and skills on handling diverse learners. Learners of all sorts of backgrounds, of interests, of languages, etc. It's very important for our fellow teachers to be able to face this first and foremost challenge. Second, no one in the so-called Industry 4.0 is going to survive the world, especially we are in the field of education, if we do not know how to navigate the so-called WWW, education technology, the digital resources that we have, the options for integrating education technology in the way we facilitate learning, and even in the way we organize records, manage learning. Every fellow teacher, and of course every principal, has to be proficient in the area of digital digitalization and education technology. It's not the availability of education technology in our schools that will matter for us to create higher learning outcomes. It's how we make full use of this education technology in ensuring that the learners are able to learn very well using the so-called digital world, interactive lessons, etc. Teachers' third challenge, other than being able to manage learning activities in a diverse setting and making full use of education technology, the third challenge is on us, principals and our fellow teachers, becoming exemplars of lifelong learning. We cannot create lifelong learners among the youngsters if we ourselves do not demonstrate how it is to be lifelong learners. I assure you all that I am, of course, a full-fledged graduate of a PhD program, but I always still enroll in training activities that further allows me, the training activities that further allow me to learn more about my work. The most recent course I have completed is understanding disinformation and misinformation offered by the British Embassy. Of course, among the latest, last year, I completed 2 online courses for free. I did not have to get the certificates, I don't need them now, to further understand how to live in this so-called VUCA world, and the other thing was about design thinking. Anyway, lifelong learning, demonstrating it is also a challenge because I know that our fellow teachers are overwhelmed with a lot of things to do now, all sorts of reports, etc. And finally, the final challenge from having to deal with a diverse group of learners, from having to make sure that education technology is used optimally, and from having to demonstrate that we are lifelong learners ourselves, is the challenge of being agents of innovation. We cannot solve our problems now if we will continue to do things the way we do it. We have done it in the past. We have to continue to innovate, add value to whatever it is we're doing now in creative ways so that we can be more efficient and eventually achieve the effectiveness that we all desire to attain. So those are the challenges that our fellow teachers are facing, and I'm sure and I hope that you will be mindful that our task of inspiring our fellow teachers also includes the task of making sure that they are ready, they are provided support in terms of the challenges I have mentioned. Now, for us, school leaders, for us, leaders for learning, especially in the so-called new normal, what are these challenges? One group of researchers I have recently read has actually said that the ongoing barriers to a quality education workforce is among the challenges we have to face. We know that, again, we cannot create high-quality education results if our fellow teachers and we ourselves, principals, are not updated with the recent ideas and trends on how to create and attain quality.